Right then, let's fix a mistake. Okay, on the lathe I have what was to be an angel blank for a special client. That's the only reason I was doing a resin one. It was because of the person who this is. I know when I did the one for my sister, the resin angel, if you haven't seen that one, I'll leave a link up there and a link below to it. Right, I swore I'd never do another one, but a very special client asked me to do one, so I was doing it for her. And I didn't like the way the resin came out. It was my own fault. I never put the spacers in when I was putting the gaps in. I eyeballed it because basically I forgot to put the spacers in. And as you see, the way the resin went, and it wasn't level, it wasn't even. Right, now this client has actually been waiting a long time for this angel, but I had to get the right kind of wood. She likes really dark wood. So Mary, if you're watching this, I haven't forgotten about your angel, but I'm trying to get it just right for you. Right, so instead of wasting what is a lovely piece of wood, I'm going to turn it into a Christmas tree. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is put a tenon on it, and we'll go from there. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is mark out the pot. And then I'm going to turn the rest into a cone, basically. Nearly at the cone. Now, I'm not looking for a perfect cone here, because if you actually look at the Christmas tree, it's not perfect. And I'm trying to make this as tree-like as possible. Now I need to grab a ruler and a pencil to start marking in. Now on a real tree, the branches are not the same distance apart. They get wider the lower they go. So if I turn that on, I'm going to have to cut off to there or to get rid of the hole at the top, right? So that's 1 centimetre, 1 centimetre, 1 centimetre. Right, then we're going to go 1.5 centimetres, 1.5 centimetres, 1.5 centimetres, 1.5 centimetres, and the rest we'll just continue on to 1.5 centimetres all the way down. There we go to 2. That'll be more tree-like than if I just did it all the same width all the way down. Now, where did I put my narrow parting tool? Now, speed back up again. And with the narrow parting tool, I'm going to cut all those in. Now for the detail gouge, which I'm going to freshly sharpen because I'm cutting resin, I'm going to turn them into the tree branches. Alright, now this wasn't the original video I had planned for this week. The original video I had planned for this week was actually a display piece for the stall. It was a 3-foot Christmas tree made out of monkey puzzle. But time constraints are not letting me do it this week. But that's one that will be coming up. I'm going to take a chunk out of there. This is just going to be one of those days, isn't it? We'd get away with that, I think. What happened there was I was cutting this one and I was thinking about what I was going to say next, and I slipped and I hit it. Instead of concentrating on what I was doing. Right, so I need to bring that one down a little bit more. Bring that one down a little bit more. Bring that one down a little bit more. And that one down a little bit more. Bring the balance back in. Yeah, that looks balanced now. Right, now the pot. I need to be able to get in there to sand that, so I'm going to bring this one down and turn it into the trunk. A little bit thinner, I think. Sharpen up the edge. Yep, it's better. Now that isn't balanced because that one is still slightly too big. And then there a bit. This blank was coarse from the start, I think. Right, it's a bit better. Balance wise. Right, now we get to sanding that. And I'll sand that and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, just doing the Yorkshire Grit on this. And this week's Yorkshire Grit Bit is the Legend of Tirnanog. Yet again, it's one of the main characters you've heard about before. He was mentioned in another legend. Right, so now this legend features Uishin, the son of Finn McCool. I talked about him, I think it was last week. And the tale begins down here in County Kerry, where Uishin and the Fianna were out hunting deer. Suddenly, while they were stalking a deer, they heard the sound of hooves approaching, and they of course dived for cover because God knows what was going to happen. Right, so when they picked up, there was a beautiful woman approaching, riding a pure white horse. Fionn jumped up, or should I say Uishin jumped up, stopping the young woman, whose absolute beauty made him fall in love straight away. It was a love at first sight kind of thing, right? He asked her who she was, and she replied that she was Niamh, the daughter of the king of Tirnanog. And she told him that she had come to find the brave warrior Uishin and return with him to Tirnanog. Now, on hearing this, Uishin was suspicious. The most beautiful woman he'd ever seen had come from a land of eternal youth just to find him and bring him back there. So he questioned her a bit, and as he was talking to her, he was falling more and more in love with her. So it got to the stage where Uishin didn't care. He'd fallen in love with Niamh and agreed to go back with her. So the pair rode for days over hills and valleys on Niamh's magical white horse until they finally came to Tirnanog. Now, before long, Uishin and Niamh were married, and they were happy. Now, after some time, though, Uishin began to miss his family, and he spoke to Niamh, saying that he wanted to go and see his family and friends. Now, Niamh explained to Uishin that his family and friends were long dead, as 3 years in Tirnanog was the same as 300 in the outside world. But Uishin still wanted to go and see his homeland, and Niamh understood his longing. So she gave him her magical white horse to carry him, but with a warning. He must never dismount. Even if one of his toes touched the soil of Ireland, he would never be able to return to Tirnanog. So Uishin understood this and agreed. Right. Uishin arrived in Ireland, and it was just as Niamh had told him. Everyone he knew was dead, and were now just stories and legends. Uishin, feeling sad, began to slowly ride back to Tirnanog. On his way, he spotted 3 men trying to move this large rock out of the middle of the path. It had fallen down during a landslide. He offered to help, but remembering what Niamh had said about not setting foot on the ground, he reached down from his saddle until he could grab the stone with one hand. The stone began to move and topple to the side of the road, and just as it cleared the road, the saddle Uishin was in broke, letting him fall to the ground. He immediately started to age and became old very quickly. 3 men panicked, of course, on seeing this, as they watched a young, strong man shrivel in front of them. They decided that the now old Uishin needed to go and see a saint. St. Patrick was preaching in the town, next town over basically. So they carried him to the saint, who listened to his story. Uishin died soon after, and according to legend, he was buried under the instruction of St. Patrick in a grave so he could finally find peace. And nobody was to be told where this grave was. So that is the legend of Tirnanog. Now, like a lot of Irish legends, an awful lot of Irish counties claim Tirnanog, like down here, it's supposed to be in the middle of the Lake Killarney. The version I heard growing up was that Tiernanog was in the middle of the sea between Scotland and Ireland. I said it's just one of those things that everybody wants to climb. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll continue on with this, and I'll be back when I'm putting the wax on it. Well, actually I'll be back before that because I've still got to do that tip, but I'm leaving that till last so that it's basically safer to do it this way, so that I'm not putting pressure on the tenon. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright then, we're back to start out this tip. Now, the last time I did a fancy tree like this, I showed how to put a star on the top of a tree, keeping it as one piece of wood. If you haven't seen that one and you want to know how to do it, I'll leave a link up there and a link down below. Alright, but this one I'm just going to turn into a standard tree. Get rid of that hole. More of a scoop in it. Like so. Right. Now I'll give that the exact same treatment I gave the rest of it, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, just popping the wax off. Now I'll be the first to say that this tree, I would not class as my best effort at all. I was rushing it. As I said, I've time constraints this week, so I apologise for that. Look quite nice though. Yeah. Not too bad for something that was a mistake. Right, just part this off, do the end, and I'll give you a better look at it. So we'll be back in a sec. Right, so now we have a quick little Christmas tree out of a blank that I made a mistake on. And as I said, I think this blank was coarse from the start. The shape is off here because of, well, I told you what happened. I was thinking about what to say and I wasn't concentrating. Was the only I touched that rim, but it's actually not too bad. I'm not happy with it. Like that'll never make the stall. But I hope you enjoyed that one, and if you wouldn't mind, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.